The man wanted to withdraw money from his son's bank account, but was asked to prove his son was really his son. This absurd demand left the man completely stunned. Just as he was feeling hopeless, a group of robbers suddenly stormed into the bank. After hearing he needed money for his son's surgery, one of them kindly threw him 2 bundles of cash, since the bank refused to give him the money, and his son urgently needed the operation. The man decided to use the cash to pay for the surgery, but unexpectedly, his actions were seen as robbery, and he was sentenced to 20 years in prison. The case caused a huge public outcry. Reporters swarmed the courthouse, asking the man how he felt about it. The man helplessly said, if not for the bank's ridiculous request, he would have already gotten the money and never crossed paths with the robbers. He was full of pain and confusion. Without the money, his son couldn't have the surgery and would never wake up again. His desperate look was broadcast through major news outlets. Meanwhile, his son had just finished surgery and learned of his father's situation from the news. As a first-year law student, he immediately decided to defend his father. He pored over legal texts day and night. His sister felt heartbroken and urged him not to be so stubborn. She said both the first and second trials gave the same sentence, and without groundbreaking evidence in the final trial, his legal career might be ruined. But the boy believed justice would prevail, and until the final verdict was made, he would never give up. His sister reminded him he'd just had surgery and should avoid overexerting himself, but he suddenly got excited and said he'd found a breakthrough. The next morning, he went to visit his father in prison. Seeing his son standing there alive, the man finally broke down and poured out his grievances. The boy comforted him briefly, then said firmly, during the final trial, he just needed to tell the full truth, and the boy was confident they would win. But as he walked out of the prison, he suddenly staggered, yet forced to smile and said he was fine, then asked his sister for the victim's contact list. He reached out to everyone involved in the case, asking them to attend the final hearing. He wanted them to witness the bank losing in court. By now the boy had clearly figured out how to take on the bank. On the day of the final trial, he walked toward the courthouse with determination, but to his surprise, he saw the bank president and their legal team. His sister was shocked. Their lawyer was her own husband. She immediately lashed out at him for being heartless, but the man calmly replied, "Court relies on evidence, even if it's family. If you break the law you must be held accountable." Hearing this, the boy silently turned away. Reporters followed closely, saying the bank had hired a so-called unbeatable lawyer, with a win rate of 95%. They asked the boy what he thought his chances were. He confidently replied his chance of winning was 100%. His words made the bank president laugh out loud, mocking how a college student dared challenge their team. But the boy stood his ground, and asked if winning depended on stats. Then why bother having judges? Law is never biased toward power. Despite the bank's arrogance, he didn't waste time arguing, and walked straight into the courthouse. But just as he stepped inside, he felt intense pain again, so he handed all the prepared documents to his sister, telling her not to give them to anyone else, then went alone to the restroom, saying he'd be back soon. His sister waited at the defense table, but he never returned. Unbeknownst to her, the boy was suffering severe post-surgery complications. He tried to take his meds, but lost consciousness in the struggle. Meanwhile, the trial was about to start, yet the defense side was still empty. No one knew how this